Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is the first time you are joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, there was a technical issue with the live stream that I did earlier regarding self shaming, self sabotage. So, I figured since quite a few people were like, where did the video go? I'd go ahead and talk about it now. So, anyways, earlier's live stream was just weird, weird energy for me. So, might as well just talk about it now. How are you guys doing? How is everybody feeling? You guys feeling shifts in energy yet? Any sense of changes happening? All right. So I'm going to be pulling some cards. It's not necessarily a reading, but I'm going to use the cards to try and guide us to a much more understandable, a much more easily understood presentation of what exactly it means to self shame. So, what are you guys thinking self shaming is? Have you ever felt or experienced self shame? All right. So, here goes. Here goes. So, right now, with all the things that are going on in our journey, we're needing to take a pause. Okay. We're needing to pause because of the fact that there has been so much confusing um, dogma that has been spread, not just through society, but especially through spiritual circles. Now, a lot of the shame that we feel, exactly, Tara, feeling like not enough. Exactly. This is what's going on within society, within social circles, like spiritual communities, things like that. It's this feeling of energy that's very connected to other people. And if we're connected to someone else, if someone else is depending on us to do our part so that they can move forward, so that they can grow, feel more stable, then it puts a lot of pressure on us. It puts a lot of unrealistic, unfair expectations on our shoulders. And what ends up happening when some people have insecurities within themselves, instead of addressing these insecurities and making themselves feel more empowered, they instead will focus on you. Okay, they'll make statements that um, are very thinly veiled attempts to tear you down, to convince you that you're not enough, to convince you that you're living life wrong. And if you're not aware of who you actually are, if you're not willing to really look at yourself and embrace yourself as you are, this is really going to affect you. Yes, it's about projection. So when we project out this sense of lack of confidence, lack of worth, creation will bring to you, and this is not your fault. This is a part of your learning process. Okay. Creation will bring to you the very people who will provide you with an opportunity to experience a potentiality in rise of your awareness, a raise in your awareness, a raise in your desire to choose yourself. A lot of us don't realize when people come to you and they're demanding and demanding and demanding of your time, demanding of your energy, demanding of your gifts, demanding of whatever it is they want from you. um that's a beautiful lesson being presented. Are you going to choose this, or are you going to choose yourself? Which one? And as long as you continue choosing this instead of yourself, that lesson is going to keep circling back around over and over and over again. And what I'm finding is every time we have that lesson circle back around, instead of recognizing, okay, maybe I should choose something else so that this lesson doesn't circle back around, what we end up doing is blaming ourselves. what we end up doing is allowing our insecurities to instead be validated, be confirmed by the repeating of this cycle over and over and over again. If you take a look at people who are in abusive relationships, oftentimes what ends up happening is they take in the words of their abuser. They begin to blame themselves. And to be honest, when it comes to people who are on a spiritual path, people who are trying to grow themselves without first rediscovering who they actually are, your relationship with society becomes that of empath and narcissist. Society will tear you down. Society will tear you down and then gaslight you. And if you don't know any better, you're going to shame yourself. If you don't know any better, you'll begin to create cycles of self sabotage, because all you experience is disappointment. All you experience is betrayal. So when good things start to happen for you, it feels weird. And why is that? Because you've been wounded so many times in the past that for whatever reason, you are now beginning to identify as your wound. And healing that wound, for those who don't understand why people don't want to heal. Why would someone not want to heal? Everyone wants to heal. Ah, that's a nice concept. But there are those of us who we have held on to this wound for so long, it's become our identity. Okay. It's become our identity. And if you heal that wound, that means that wound no longer exists. And if your identity is the wound, then you cease to exist as you know yourself to be. So, what's the solution? Really getting to know yourself, really allowing yourself to rediscover how the events of your life thus far have affected you, have shaped you into who you are in this moment. And who you are in this moment, uh, it's very hard for us to see that who we perceive ourselves to be might not be who we actually are. It might, I mean, if you're to take me as an example, I see myself as a stay at home mom, and that's how I see myself. I think that's a huge accomplishment, being a stay at home mom, being someone who's charged to take care of our future. To me, that's the most important thing that I could ever do in this life. And yet here I am doing live streams, and for whatever reason, people feel like it inspires them. People feel like it helps give them clarity. People feel like it helps empower them and clears away the dark cloud that's been. And to me, I don't see any of that. If that's what you're experiencing, beautiful. That's not my intention. That's not something I'm intentionally doing. That's not something that is a part of some plan. But do you guys see how the way I view myself is completely different than the way other people will see me? So, what happens sometimes when you don't know who you really are, you buy into the lie of who people tell you are. For a good portion of my life, um, people have people have told me that, oh, I'm the mute, I am the bitch. I mean, it really depends what they get, because if you're going to treat me badly, you will get the bitch. You will. You will get the bitch. Absolutely. No shame in that for me at this point. Before, it used to be very shameful. Like, oh my God, people are going to think I'm a bitch. Well, because I've taken time to get to know myself and really just sit, marinate in my truth. I know now, if you get the bitch, you did some shit to bring her out. You totally did a lot of things to force her to come out. And now I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad, because you know what? I know at the end of the day, I'm a good person. I'm someone who cares. I'm someone who goes out of my way to help other people. And even if I didn't help other people, even if I didn't care, that doesn't take away from my intrinsic value as a person here today, alive, breathing, existing. It doesn't take away from my value. And I think a lot of the things that we experience that leads to this self-sabotage, self-shaming, it's a lack of awareness of our intrinsic value, our intrinsic worth, what we deserve. And I don't know that someone else is just going to one day be like, you deserve more than that. Uh, and if someone did, would you believe them? I think that's the more powerful question. If someone did, if someone came to you and spoke this truth, would you believe them? Most of us who do the self-shaming, uh, most of us who do the self-sabotage, we wouldn't believe them. I mean, tell me that you would. Tell me that you would be like, you're right, I'm awesome. It's taken me quite a few years to get to this point where I'm like, yeah, I'm a good person. When people say, oh my God, you're so awesome. Sure. Okay. Do I believe that? I'm slowly starting to see maybe I'm a little bit more than a good person. I don't know, maybe. And here's the thing. This is another thing that's really important with a self-shaming and self-sabotage. Um, your recognition of who you actually are, your recognition of your intrinsic value, what you actually truly deserve, the kind of person that you are. Knowing that you're a good person doesn't detract or degrade anyone else. Every single last one of us has at least one person in our life right now. If you were to say you're a good person, then be like, oh, so what are you trying to say? I'm not good? No, you're saying that. I'm not saying that. You're saying that. And oftentimes, what ends up happening is, as an empath, if someone else is struggling and you're not, why do we feel guilty for that? Why do we feel badly for that? Why can't we celebrate ourselves just because another person is unwilling to celebrate themselves? Do you guys know why? Because there's a lot of people in this world who don't want to put in the time and the effort to grow themselves, expand their consciousness, rise to higher levels of dimensional consciousness. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. We're not here to force anyone to keep time with us, to stay in step with us. But why on earth would you force yourself to stay stagnant just because someone in your life is choosing to do so? That's a powerful statement, Cheryl. Very powerful statement. I am learning to accept myself for who I am. As empaths, and it's usually the empaths who struggle so deeply with a self-shaming, self-sabotage. That's a huge thing. To be able to admit you are in a still of actively trying to. What does that mean? Because how am I going to accept myself if I don't even know who I am? What is it that I'm accepting? And that's why it's hard to accept yourself. The process of learning to accept yourself for who you are is a process of recognizing your intrinsic value. That's what it is. That's what stage you're in, Cheryl. And that's powerful. That is so powerful. People will tell you that this is wrong, that you're being selfish, you're self-centered. Okay. Who should I be revolving around? Ask them that. If working on yourself is causing someone in your life to make you feel as though you're being selfish for what? Trying to figure yourself out? For spending time on yourself instead of catering to their preferences? I mean, when you put it in those terms, who's really selfish? Um, Fear is a big reason. What I found, most of the people who struggle with self shaming and the self sabotage, and I'm so guilty of this. I'm so guilty of this too. My fear is not really in the failure. My fear is more rooted in the success. I'm afraid of being successful. I'm afraid of being successful because once I am, I can't hide anymore. I can't allow myself to shrink back down anymore. And that's a painful thing for an empath who's been conditioned by society, by family, sometimes by friends, by social circles, by spiritual gurus, leaders, all these people who want and need you to believe they're somehow above you. They condition you to believe that you are a bad person if you don't stay down there. How dare you try and be equal to me? How dare you? And it's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Because really, in order for someone to have an elevated position, there has to be people to agree to stay beneath them. Do you understand? That statement alone, let that sink in. Do you understand? Because society, the programming of society is a play on words. Do you understand? Do you stand under? Understand means to stand under. I know more than you, and so you have to stand beneath me. You have to raise me up because I know more. And the moment you understand, you are standing under. It's crazy. It's crazy. A lot of the things that we allow ourselves to really take in are nothing more than a play on words. You're selfish. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Okay. So the adverb ish, ish, means to some extent. So someone calls you selfish. To some extent, you're now being yourself. You're now worrying about yourself. You are now your own priority. And that's selfish. To some extent, you are your priority. Now let's look at self centered. It's an adjective. Preoccupied with oneself and one's affairs. What's wrong with that? Can someone help me understand what's wrong with being preoccupied with your own affairs? What's wrong with being preoccupied with yourself and your journey? Give me some reasons why that would be wrong. No reasons? Anyone know? Because it's not wrong. It's not wrong. Society is structured in such a way where if you're concerned about other people too much, which who defines what's too much and what's enough, right? If you're concerned about other people too much, you're being nosy. You're being nosy. But if you're not concerned enough, you're self-centered. You're selfish. You're never going to win. That's the thing. That's what I'm getting at. When it comes to trying to have society accept you by bending over backwards, turning yourself into a pretzel, by all this bending over backwards and sideways and all of this stuff, trying to fit everyone's mold, you're never going to win that. You just never are. And if you think, well, what about these celebrities? If they do one thing that goes against what they are conditioned to believe they stand for. There goes their following. There goes their platform. We exist in a cancel culture. Mm-hmm. Cancel culture. I can't give you a reason why that would be wrong. I don't think anyone can. No one else has commented. There's no reason. When you hear the term self-centered, you immediately think, oh my God, you're saying I'm a bad person. I'm a bad person. I haven't done enough for you. There's a lot of shame, a lot of guilt in that term. That's what gets triggered within us. But you look up the definition: preoccupied with oneself and one's affairs. Let's see. This is an interesting word. So, as I looked up the definition of self-centered, I'm given other words that are synonyms. Self-seeking. Self-seeking, is that somehow a negative thing? Is there a stigma to seeking yourself, to trying to find yourself? Yeah, because if you're too busy trying to find yourself, then you won't have time to accommodate the unrealistic, unfair demands of other people. Let's look at the other word. Inward looking. Wow. Wow. That's amazing. And then they start mentioning ego as though ego needs to be killed. Let's think on this real quick. If you believe in God, if you believe in a God source, prime creator, universe, whatever you want to call it, okay? If you believe in that, then usually what goes hand in hand with that belief in the existence of a God presence is the belief that God is omnipotent, omnipowerful. It knows everything. If it knows everything, why did it create ego? If ego exists to be killed, to be boxed away, to be jailed, to be vilified, why did God, in all its knowing, create ego? Because there's nothing wrong with ego. It's when we, as spiritual, intellectual toddlers, allow our ego to get out of control, come out of balance, out of alignment with all our other components, that we begin to have a problem. There's nothing wrong with ego. There's really nothing wrong with ego. For many people who have that self shaming struggle, your ego works the opposite way. I have that same problem. When our ego flares up, instead of causing us to feel as though we're so much better than everyone else, so much more important, so much more blah, blah, blah than other people, what ends up happening is we start to question ourselves. We start to feel much smaller than we actually are. We start to forget what little worth we're aware of. And then you allow yourself to really spiral and spiral and spiral. And then creation will bring you people who will confirm the things you need confirmation for. If you are ready to allow yourself to embrace the totality of who you are, if you're ready to really embrace, accept your value, your intrinsic worth just by existing, you are worth something, then you'll be brought people who will inspire you to continue in that direction of self rediscovery, self acceptance, self love, all of those beautiful things that begin with self. But if you're not yet ready, then creation will bring to you the very people who will amplify the distorted questions that lead to the distorted answers. that further perpetuates your pain, your imbalance, your shame, your guilt. Why do we allow this? Amen to that. Amun Ra to that. It's always been so crazy to me that religious people tout the perfection of God, but then spend their time saying that his creation is so full of mistakes. Makes no sense at all. Actually, to me, it makes a lot of sense. How can you be omnipowerful, omnipotent, omnipresent if you're confined to just a he? If we are made in the image of God, do we not need a masculine and a feminine to create? Do we not have masculine and feminine within us? So now you're getting down to the root causations of the reasons we struggle, the reasons we exist in programs that shame us for becoming a totality. We are shamed for reclaiming our true identity. Someone that has both masculine and feminine energies and is able to balance between the two. Although I look very feminine, I have very masculine energy. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing. I was conditioned, and it wasn't conditioning with malicious intent. It was conditioning to help me assimilate better into society. I can't be too manly. I can't wear manly clothes. Why do I keep wearing man's clothes? Why do I not wear a purse? Why don't I carry a purse with me? Why don't I this? Why don't I that? Why don't I wear high heels? Why can't I just embrace being a woman? I'm already a woman. My body, my womanly body embraces my existence. That's good enough for me. What I need to explore is, why am I feeling ashamed for being manly? Why am I being so shamed for being assertive? What are some of the hallmarks of a manly man? A real man has to be assertive. A real man has to be able to defend with fists, for the honor. So what's wrong with me embracing that aspect of myself that's out of balance? What's wrong with that? I don't think anything's wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with me being able to state very clearly, you have come to the boundary of where I will allow you to go. Take any further step forward, there will be a consequence. This is my auric kingdom. You will not trespass where you are not invited. There is nothing wrong with me making that statement energetically, verbally, whatever it is. And you will find that there will be people who will continue to push and push and push and push and push and push. And what are you going to do about that? Me personally, first I'm going to tell you to stop. Then I'm going to tell you, you better stop or there's going to be a consequence. You're going to get a reactionary response from me. And if you continue, I'm going to push you the fuck back. Because I'm not here to be your whipping girl. I'm not here to be your doormat, whether it just be with your words, with your actions, with your intentions. You will not dominate me, and I will not be ashamed for recognizing I was not put here to be treated that way. And that's how you get your power back. No, I don't. No, I don't take no caca. No, I don't. And I'm not going to be apologetic about it either. Yep. Why are we the only ones who are questioned for having our individual views and boundaries? God forbid we try to dominate them. I don't think if If by them you're referring to males in particular, males, I don't necessarily feel like males are the issue. Just like I don't necessarily feel like women are the issue. I just don't. Toxic masculinity and toxic femininity are the issue. So, toxic femininity, I can do anything a man can do. Why the fuck would I want to do what a man's doing? I'm doing my own thing. Why am I concerned about what a man's doing? I'm not competing with a man. I'm not a man. Shit, I can't open pickle jars. You better get your big ass man hands over here and open my pickle jars for me. I'm just saying, I'm not a man. I'm not trying to be a man. I'm a woman in all her glory. I don't think so. There's shit a man can't do that I can. And women can give birth. Women can't. But guess what, toxic feminine? You kind of need a man to get to that point, right? The problem is not the women or the men. The problem is the participation in the mentality that creates a competition between apples and oranges. It's like, I make better applesauce than you. Well, motherfucker, I'm an orange. I'm never going to make applesauce. Can you make orange juice? Yeah, but no, I have apple juice. Do you see how obnoxious that is? That whole self-shaming thing. All it does is continue to feed the beast, that beast within. And it's not even a badass beast. It's just a freaking porkly obese type of beast that has been feeding off your insecurities your entire life. Put that motherfucker on a diet. Okay? Put that ugly beast on a diet. Cinch up your insecurities. Whatever you're insecure with, work on it until you feel confident, not until someone else validates that you've improved. No, work on it until you feel like you're a badass at doing whatever it is that it is. Okay? I'm insecure because of my weight. Well, I'm going to work on my weight. Does that mean I need to be skinny? No, it doesn't. That means I'm going to teach my body to be healthy. I'm going to feed it what it needs, when it needs, however much it needs. I'm going to exercise, not to get skinny, not for people to validate me, but so I can understand the strength of me. Sometimes it takes physical labor to understand the gravity of mental and emotional things. How strong and committed do you have to be to get yourself very fit, physically fit? I just remember that song. Physically fit, physically fit. Do you guys know that it's an animation? You've got to move it, move it. Okay, let me just stop. But do you understand how much you have to commit to yourself in order to get into a specific type of shape, in order to achieve a specific level of physical conditioning? Do you know how much you have to invest in yourself? How much you have to believe in yourself? And sometimes what you have to do is experience the physical presentation of strength in order to understand the mental and emotional strength within you. Okay. So, yeah, Madagascar. Madagascar, that's what it is. Physically fit. Physically fit. Okay, that just threw me off track. Ooh. Here it is. Tangibility. Okay. Make your dreams real. Your potential is tangible. It's a tangible thing. You just choose to believe it's not because you are looking through the filter of someone else, someone who doesn't understand you. If I were to use the filters of people from earlier in my life, I would never be going live. Never. Because based on their filters, My perception of me would be that this is weird. Don't let anyone know that you can do any of these things. This is just weird. This is witchcraft in a derogatory way. This is demonic. Is it? No. There's nothing about me that's demonic. But for most of my life, I shamed myself for being who I am. Most of my life, I could not allow myself to accept the gravity of who and what I am in that moment. It's like my growth has not been about reaching higher levels of anything, becoming more prominent, becoming more, powerful. And no, my personal journey has been about shedding the layers of preconceived notions that other people have tried to program me with. That's the truth of my spiritual journey. The more I let go of the shame, the guilt of being different, the more I create space within myself to allow my energy, my power, my knowing to return back to me. That's what it is. That's what it is. You have to allow your parts to come back. We threw away pieces of ourselves based on someone else's perception that there's no value to it. I remember my aunt was telling me one time, um, uh, my cousin's toddler, um, they were out, I think in Monterey, walking around Cannery Row, and the toddler sees a shiny rock in the sewer. Well, the before it gets to the drain, he saw it and he picked it up and he showed it to his mom, who happens to not be my cousin. It's all right, they're divorced. He shows it to his mom, and his mom's like, "Oh, that's garbage. Throw it away. That's not real. That's a fake diamond," because it looked like a diamond and it was pretty big. Well, I think my cousin listened and they took it to go get checked. If I remember right, this big ass diamond was a VS1. You don't know what a VS1 is? Okay. It's some good stuff. It was a very, very, very expensive diamond that had gotten lost. And if he had listened to his mother, who felt no value in that stone, then there'd be no stone and they wouldn't have known. But because he felt and listened to his own knowing, even as a small child, and because there was someone there to help support that curiosity, that desire to explore, that desire to know for sure, to get the answers to the questions that are being asked. Well, he came up. He came up that day. He had a VS1 diamond. I think it was like 1 carat or maybe a carat and a half. It was a big stone. It was big. And guess what? Guess what? I was never really close with this former cousin-in-law. No, I'm not trying to talk shit. Guess who fucking wore that diamond? Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Being the person who told the child to throw it away and it was worthless. Guess who wore that diamond? Yes. Yep. Her. So what happens when you keep giving your power away? What happens to that? Other people wear your power as though they are royals, when in actuality, no, they're not. Uh-huh. Yo, I rolled my eyes when my auntie told me this. I was like, this bitch. Yep. People will take and take. They will. And you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with their toxic behavior. And you know why you have to be okay with it? Because you have the power to not continue to be there and keep giving. It's not your job to change someone else. It's not your job to feel guilty for being a different person than they are. I used to have people who would be like, Emmie's such a bitch. She's so full of herself because I said I'm a good person. Bitch, they ain't got nothing to do with you. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm sorry if I'm yelling in your ears. I didn't realize. I keep fucking around too much. I'm just saying, bitch, this ain't got anything to do with you. Could you guys hear me? Okay. So don't allow yourself to be shamed. Don't allow yourself to buy into other people's bullshit. I'm just saying, don't allow yourself to do it. There's nothing wrong with you. Just because you feel moments of like a low point, just because you question yourself, that's because you're a real person. Anyone who doesn't question themselves, you fake as fuck. Oh, did I say that out loud? Yeah. I'm being a bad kitty. I said that out loud. You fake as fuck. It's true. It's true. If you question yourself, that gives you the opportunity to open yourself to receive an answer, to create a higher level of potentiality for you to reach for. Just because you question yourself does not mean you are incapable, incompetent, or powerless. It doesn't. It doesn't. Do you guys think I'm powerful? Do you guys think I'm intelligent? Is that how you see me? And it's okay if you don't. But I'd like to see. If you see me as someone that is powerful, if you see me as someone who is just really owning her truth, badass warrior queen, if you just see me as like, that's what I want to get to, that level of empoweredness, of intelligence. I question myself every day. I question myself every single day. I do not see myself the way you see me. I see myself as girlfriend is messy. I'm messy. That's okay. You don't like the mess? Go organize your fucking cans in your pantry, okay? Don't be up in my space. Fuck out of here. You don't like my mess? Go fucking create little labels to put on your boxes. None of that shit is my problem. Okay. No, I don't want to say, I have OCD too. Take your OCD somewhere else. Nah, I have that problem too. But what you guys need to take away from this is the fact that I questioned myself. I questioned myself before coming live today. I questioned myself after I ended the live this morning. I'm probably going to question myself after I'm done talking to you guys, because I'm going to be like, what the fuck did I just say? What the fuck did I say? And half the time when you guys comment things about like, oh, blah, 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 like quoting something I said in the live, I'm over here cracking up only to realize, oh, I said that. I actually said that. Holy shit. Okay. I thought you were hilarious, but you were just quoting me. It's okay for you to recognize that you're intelligent. It's okay for you to recognize that you're amazing. It's okay for you to recognize you're beautiful. It's okay for you to recognize maybe you're a little insecure. Maybe you feel a little overweight. Maybe you feel not intelligent enough. Maybe you feel not up to par with other people's expectations. It's okay for you to have a human experience, to be a real person. We are not here to be clones of each other. We're not. We're not. Oh, Marcy, you're one of the few people I can trust with my life. Girl, I was going to say, I'll gun them down. No, I won't. I won't. But I got you. I got you. I definitely do. I see you, someone who's working through her programming, dismantling and rebuilding frameworks of reference and behavior. Yes. She said it. Yes. That's all I am. And that's enough. Sometimes I say these things, that's all I am. That statement of that's all I am. And people will interpret that as Emmie is so humble. Emmie doesn't realize how much and how great and how, in that moment, all I'm focused on is that one beautiful aspect of me. And I don't need to call it beautiful. I don't need to call it a powerful thing because in my heart, I already know that. In my heart, I already know that. And I don't need to like, flame boast and like, oh, y'all, blah, 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 blah. Like, what does that do? What does that do? Nothing. Nothing. It feeds the ego. It feeds my insecurities. And yes, I have a shit ton of insecurities. They're not like other people's insecurities in that I don't care if I'm not pretty enough for you. I don't give a shit. I don't care if you think my singing sucks. Yeah, no, my insecurities have to do with my understanding of my worth, not other people's acceptance of me. Has nothing to do with that. You don't think I read good? Well, then find someone else to read for you. No big deal. You think I need to? Well, then go find someone else to fucking do that shit for you. No big deal. And that's the thing we need to realize. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. Other people's perceptions, opinions of you is no big deal. That's their problem. Just like assholes, we each have one. Opinions are like assholes. Yes, Sarah. That's funny. I think that's why we look through our eyes, for we never see ourselves as others see us. I feel you, for I feel like you, and people tell me nice things, and I'm like, we are the same. Stop. Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's true. We are the same. We are the same, packaged up in different ways. Why? To give us the ability to have an individuated experience. All it is an experience. We're not actually separate things. At the end of the day, we go back home, home to where we are one. And maybe on this earth, we will never get to a point where we all agree that we are one. I'm finally at a point where I'm okay with that. We don't have to agree that we are one, but fucking no, I will not be shamed in any way, shape, or form for being different, for being more than or less than based on your perception of me. I will not take in your toxic, distorted perception of your projection from within yourself. I will not. And I won't play your fucking games with you. You want to toss that shit with me? You want to toss it at me? I'm going to pick it up and fucking throw it back at you. And there is nothing not spiritual about that. Fuck people who think in order to be spiritual, you have to be a doormat. Okay? Too loud, I'll turn it down. I'll turn it up. Whatever fucking way you need it. Seriously. No more of that, you guys. Don't let people tell you you're only valuable if you do this, if you do that. How about you fucking do it for your damn self so you can find your own value? That's what you tell people who do that. Well, I'm only here for the readings. The only reason I subscribe is for the readings. Well, then go fucking find someone who reads for Gemini, biatch. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay. I'm only valuable if I do. Then find your own fucking value and do it for yourself. That's it. That's it. Stop allowing yourself to shame yourself based on other people's need to shame you. Okay. Seriously. Seriously. Hey, you need to shame me? Fucking do that shit somewhere else. Pick up all your notes that you've gather all your notes that you've taken that help you to justify your bullshit opinion of me. Pick it all up gently, stack it nice and neat, and take that shit somewhere else. Stack up your notes. I'm just saying. Oh, Okay. That's the last, y'all. That's the last spray. I'm gonna have to go soon. I need to ration this out. I don't know if I'm gonna find this in another. I don't even know where. Shit, you got. I had to drive an hour. Oh no, I got the other bottle. I got a refill bottle. No biggie. No biggie. So really though, there will always be people who will have a need. Excuse me. They will always have a need to criticize other people. Y'all know, as soon as I said that, oh, I know who that is. I know who she's talking about. Fuck yes, you know who I'm talking about. These are the people who are very vocal when you're experiencing hardship in life. Ah, it's because you keep fucking up. Ah, it's because you thought you was better. Ah, it's because this, it's because that. You fucking up. But the moment you have something to celebrate, crickets. Where the fuck you at? You so vocal? Oh, suddenly you're gone because there's nothing to talk shit about? Y'all know people who are like that. I know this. I know. It's like a deer in the headlights. Whew, that was bright. I know that you know people that are like this. That's fine. As long as you know it's not you. That's all that matters. As long as you know you are not continuing that cycle with other people. That's all that matters. And if you know that you are, but you don't want to admit it while you're live in the comments, that's perfectly fine too. But you better admit that shit to yourself when the live is done. If you do this, that's what you're calling to you. You talking shit about all these people. I don't know why people are always talking shit about me. Because you're talking shit about all these people. Case in point, nobody comes to me to talk shit about anyone else. Why is that? Because pretty much everyone knows I'm not interested in talking shit about someone else. You got something to say about someone? Fucking say it to their face, please. I'm not them. I'm not their surrogate. Take that shit and say it to their face. Say it to them. If I got something to say, if I got a problem with you, we're going to have a conversation. Mm-hmm. We're going to have a conversation. It takes a lot to get me to the point where we're going to have a conversation. So if we have a conversation, there's not enough rose spray in this fucking world to ease what I have to say. Not enough. Okay? Not enough. Let's see. They just can't be happy for you. Nope. Because they're not happy people, period. Nope. I know someone who was a very miserable person. And just like I said, anytime there's something to criticize, they're the first one to be talking up a storm. In my head, I'm like, you're the last person that should fucking be talking. I'm so sorry for being honest. I'm so sorry for fucking being honest. And when they turned their life around, and they found things to be happy about, it's beautiful. They can celebrate with me now. That's a beautiful thing to see someone be able to grow without me saying, and I can't take any credit because I never said anything to bring their attention to it. I just didn't care enough. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I just never cared enough to really say it to them. But isn't it a beautiful thing to be able to see someone grow themselves because they choose to? And now, because they're a happier person, they don't feel so disempowered. They're able to celebrate with you. Hey, this and this happened. Oh, that's awesome. Beautiful. Beautiful. It's a beautiful thing when you can truly be happy, genuinely be happy for someone. Hey, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Sometimes when people tell you things and you say, I'm happy for you, you're not really happy for them. You're not really happy for them. That's okay. That's kind of like just you know, it's like a courtesy. Woo, But you're not really celebrating. You're not. And that's okay. You'll grow beyond that. You will. I believe in you. I know what you're capable of. You'll grow beyond that. You'll get to a point where this existence you're in right now is not enough. It's not in alignment. And not enough because you don't have enough material things, you're not getting enough recognition, but not enough because you realize all of the things you've been focusing on were nothing but distractions. And now you're ready to dive deeper into yourself. You're no longer willing to live in that superficial level. Surface existence sucks. Hold on. Okay. um oh oh I remember when I want to say I was like 19 or 20. um my husband is just such a social butterfly. I swear to God, everybody knows him. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking with the faces. So my husband's a total social butterfly, and when we first started dating, um, he would have me hang out with him while he's hanging out with his big ass group of friends. And when you hang out with his friends, it's not just one or two people, it's a fucking 20, 30 people. Not even joking. Being the introvert that I am, I just sit there quietly. And I remember what ended up happening um, after a period of time, because it wasn't just guys, it was girls and guys, you know. After a period of time, the girls started talking to me privately about one of the other girls. She's such a slut. She's so nasty. She's hella dirty. I'm like, why the fuck are y'all saying this shit to me? I don't even know her. Like, why would you say that? And they were telling me, don't be her friend. She's a backstabber. She's two-faced. So these girls didn't know me much. They were just getting to know me, okay? Guess what I did? Take a guess what I did. I invited the girl to come over. And I pulled her aside and we spoke quietly, just me and her. Hey, I'm hearing some really fucked up shit. You okay? She's like, what are you talking about? I'm just hearing some really ugly shit. These bitches are talking shit about you. And she's like, whatever. I was like, no, for real. Are you okay? This fucked up shit. Like, I'm not cool with that. Because they all ended up moving into my house. This is not going to be no fucking battleground. I'm not going to tell you how to live, but you bring that drama here. As the owner of this house, I'm going to lay that shit to rest. All you bitches better get along or no one comes over. That's how I live. That's how I live. And you know what ended up happening? She understood how catty these bitches are. She understood that. And me and her ended up becoming best friends for a very long time. Very, very, very long time. Because the more shit you talk about someone to me, I'm going to go straight to them. I'm not going to say you're talking shit. I'm going to say I've been hearing some shit. Everything okay? Anything you want to talk to me about? Fuck that shit. You're not going to use me to pick on someone else. Unless you do wrong to me, whatever's going on between you and someone else, that's between you and someone else. That's not my shit to do. That's not my shit to fix. I'm going to stay out of that. Nope. And you guys have to allow yourself to move forward from that type of existence. You have to move forward from it. And you cannot allow yourself to feel ashamed. Because I bet you those bitches were like, what the fuck? Why are they best friends now? Because it's none of your business. It's none of your business. And they all ended up moving out. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Know what I'm saying? Yep. Yep. This is not an act. It is not an act. Be real with yourself. Be real with other people. You don't have to be some badass and be like, I'm gonna fuck everybody up. No, you don't have to. What you have to do though is be honest, be real. If you don't like someone, then don't like someone. But don't go around them being fake just because you keep being able to benefit from your association with them. That's just not how I am. Like at all. At all. If I don't vibe with you, I can't. I can't fake it. I can't take your money. I can't take your booking. My energy is not in alignment with yours. Find someone who you're in alignment with. I wish you the best. Because I always have to be real. I always have to be honest with myself. I'm not a good enough actress to fake that shit. I'm just not. I'm just not. I'm not. Because I guarantee you, if I'm really not feeling you and you're trying to be in a video chat with me, I'd be like, bitch, you the problem. I mean, I don't know what. No, 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 no. You the problem. It's not someone else. And I don't want to hurt someone like that. So I'm just like, we're not in alignment. Just back away. I'm just going to back away. And that's not always why I say we're not aligned. Sometimes I know I can't help. Why would I take your money if I know I can't help? Because then, and this, oh my God, you guys, y'all need to tell me. I got to make sure I'm not hangry. No, these feelings are real. It's not hunger. It's not hangry. This is some real confuddled shit, okay? Why the fuck would you be mad if I refund you because I can't help you? Why the Why would you be angry that I'm refunding you because I can't help you? Because I know that it would not be right of me to accept your money knowing that I can't help you. Why am I suddenly the bitch for that? Can y'all answer me this? Trying to shame me like I thought you were different. I mean, I am different. I'm not just accepting your money. Another word. I need more spray. I was gonna say another word. Just... Yo, demons lied to you, boo boo. Your demons lied to you. If you want to believe them, that's why I can't help you. That's why. I'm just saying. Yeah, it's about not getting what you want. But see, here's the thing. It's what we need to focus on is not that they didn't get what they want and so they're acting out. What we need to focus on is, should I be ashamed for this? Should I listen to what they are trying to convince me of and be ashamed for being a real, honest human being? No. You will find plenty of people who will be more than willing to take your money and will fight you once you tell them they didn't help you. I'm good. I'm really good off that. You keep your money. You find someone who will take it from you, play with your demons, hype you up a little bit. You do that. I don't do that. That's not something I provide. It's just not. So, should I feel ashamed? Absolutely not. Should you feel ashamed because someone else has some unrealistic demand that you cannot fulfill? Because I'm sorry, I don't care if money is involved or not. If your demand involves me kissing your demon's ass, that's unrealistic. I'm sorry. that I'm not sorry. I can't. I can't. And that's what people are doing to you. When you enter a stage of self shaming, why is that? Why is that? At some point in your life, and this is not about to blame someone else, okay? At some point in your life, you allowed someone else's opinions of you. You allowed someone else's treatment of you to convince you that you're not enough, that you're too much, that you don't fit in, that you this and that, and all these whatever other reasons. If you have the power to take that in by virtue of cosmic balance, you have the power to push that out. And what ends up happening when people who have been able to control you for so long through implied things, through a deep breath, an exhale, they're not going to let you go easily. You made their life very, very easy. I mean, why would they let you go? They're not. They're going to continue to really, really make you feel badly, manipulate you. This is, hey, let's be honest here. Every single last one of us has narcissistic tendencies. Okay? Just because you have some narcissistic moments does not suddenly make you a clinical narcissist. So if we're going to be honest with ourselves, try and understand. Try and see where this is coming from within you. Is it because you need them to accept you? That you're beating yourself up? That you're shaming yourself? Because that's kind of what the narcissist does, right? In order to get what they want, no matter how unrealistic, in order to get what they want, what they need, whatever they believe is um, owed to them, they gonna wild the fuck out. Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you wild out on yourself just because you can't give someone what they demand? That's some crazy stuff, right? That's some crazy way to treat yourself. And many of us don't realize that we're doing this. Many of us just allow ourselves to keep speaking ugly to ourselves. Why? Have you ever paused to ask yourself why? Moon Chicky, saying no is as powerful as saying yes. I have learned sometimes you have to say no because I know it doesn't feel right to me. If it doesn't feel right, then it's not right. Do you have to understand why? Do you have to know why it doesn't feel right? Well, you have to know before you choose yourself. Then you're going to experience it firsthand. Those are the options that your soul is giving you. Trust me, accept this lesson as it is, and you don't experience it. You don't want to learn it that way? Okay, let them experience it. I feel like this person is going to backstab me. I feel like this person is just using me. But don't be like that, Emmie. Why are you such a bitch to people? Don't assume people are like that. But they're so sweet, Emmie. They make you laugh, Emmie. Why are you being such a bitch, Emmie? Fast forward a couple months, this motherfucker. I cannot believe I did this shit again. I cannot believe I talked myself out of listening to my own intuition. And that's what we do. That's what we do. Do you realize you do that? As empaths, pretty much all of us do this. I am very, very proud to say I've gotten to the point where I get this feeling. I'm like, I'm good. You a good person. You're going to be good over there. You stay good all the way over there. Okay. I'm going to stay in my corner. You be good in your corner. I don't need to experience this shit firsthand. I'm good. I'm sure you're a good person. I'm sure you're lovely. I don't need to know what's going to happen. I trust my soul. I trust my soul. She needs me to survive. She's never going to throw me to the fucking lions unless I'm the lioness. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I don't need to learn that lesson. And then there will be people who you do this with, and your soul will test you. Your soul will allow you to again experience that period of self shaming because you're being tested. Are you going to cave to the pressures, or are you going to rise above and once again choose yourself? And I think a lot of the reason why we experience self sabotage, self shaming, first, it starts with self shaming. It's really to give us the opportunity to choose ourselves, to choose our growth, to choose our peace, to choose our sense of centeredness. Can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me now? So I think at this point y'all probably understand exactly what it is I'm trying to say, what I'm sharing. Don't allow yourselves to feel ashamed for pausing, for choosing yourself, for understanding your value, for being different, for whatever other thing it is that you are realizing that is helping you to better understand your worth. It's okay for you to be amazing. It's okay for you to feel ridiculously sexy and attractive, even though you're overweight and have a fupa. I have a fupa. Okay? So there's nothing wrong with you being you. You don't have to fit someone else's description of you. You don't. And to me, honestly, the way I see it, um, because I used to work security, when we're giving a description of someone, it's because we about to hem you up. We looking for you to cuff your ass. Okay? I don't need to fit that description. Kindly cuff someone else. I'm not wanting to play that game with you. If you want, I can cuff you and whip the shit out of you. I'm sorry. um well, that's the thing. If you like to play with fire, why you get mad if you get burned? You already know, right? You already know. So this is the one time it's going to be different. No, it's not. If you have to tell yourself that, I promise you with Jesus fingers, you're fucking lying to yourself. If you have to tell yourself that about a relationship, about a business deal, about anything in life, if you got to tell yourself, this is the one time it's going to be different. Liar, liar, pants on fire. You know, when I used to go to church, they used to sing the words. It felt very Gregorian and like upper crust. I think I might have just took out my Wi-Fi. Yeah, you guys have to be honest with yourself. That's the main takeaway from this talk. Be honest with yourself. Is your self-shaming really rooted within you? Or does it come from the things that other people say to you, the way other people treat you? I just remembered this was put in my head, the whole concept of if you come from a poor neighborhood and you have a successful business venture or whatever, and you now can afford to live in a better neighborhood, you think you better than us? No, it has nothing to do with you. You're not part of the business. It has nothing to do with you at all. At all. This is about me choosing how I spend the money that I've earned. It has nothing to do with you. And that's what's going on right now with so many different aspects of our lives. Because we're going through a very, very intense Trauma induced accretion. Every single person alive on this earth right now is experiencing it to one degree or another. And when you begin to rise to higher levels of consciousness, those who are not choosing to rise as well, and they don't have to be right beside you, but if they're not choosing to evolve as well, they can't follow you to where you're going. And oftentimes they'll shame you for that. Oftentimes they'll make you feel as though it's your fault. You suddenly feel like you're better than everyone. No, it has nothing to do about you being better than anyone. It's about you recognizing you're better than who you were before. And what they want you to be is the same person you were before you realized you were not living up to your potential. So what's the problem? If you want to stay where you currently are, you can stay there. Do I need to stay there with you? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If you want to continue to be relatable to me, then you need to work on yourself too. Does that mean I need you to be on the same page reading the same word that I am? No, you have your own book. You have your own book. We're doing different lessons. But if the book that I'm reading is only available in a library across town and you want to stay at that library, then fucking stay at that library. But you don't get to make me feel bad that I need to go across town to get the book that's not available in the library you're in. It can be sad. It can be a very sad thing when your paths diverge. You're absolutely right, Bailey. But is it possible that your resistance to paths that diverge might be rooted in some unrecognized control struggle, some struggle with control? And just because you struggle with control doesn't mean you're a control freak trying to tell everyone how to live. Sometimes what happens is we struggle with issues concerning control because in reality, we feel very powerless. We feel like life just happens around us and we have no say, and people who we bond with suddenly disappear. What if? What if this is a moment you're being gifted to possibly recognize that you need to work on codependency, that you need to work on, what was the other one? Recognizing your own power, recognizing your own identity. And I'm not necessarily speaking to Bailey. I'm just thinking these things and sharing because so many of us experience this. Like we don't want trauma bonds. That's what it was. Trauma bonds. Okay. So if you're not familiar with that term, a trauma bond is a connection you form with some other person because of how similar your traumas are. Like I'm gonna bond with Jane over here because she also experienced um physical abuse. That's just hypothetical. So she experienced physical abuse. I've experienced physical abuse. Oh my God, girl, you totally understand. We're now best friends. Until a couple years later when you're ready to heal and Jane isn't. Oh, Emmie thinks she's better than me. Emmie thinks she's la 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 la. No, honey. It's just I'm ready to heal my wound. I'm ready to get to the next level of learning. I'm ready to address other wounds that I'm carrying within myself that are rotting, becoming necrotic as I sit here waiting for you to love me enough to set me free or join me at the next level. Sometimes you got to have this conversation with yourself. Am I the problem? Do I think I'm better than everyone else? Or is it that they're not capable or willing to love me in such a way that sets me free? And if they choose not to love you that way, you can't force them to. Bottom line. You can't force them to. But I love them. They won't let me love them. You can't force them to accept your love any more than you can force them to love you in the way you want them to. You just can't. This is a decision that has to be made by the individual. And sometimes it takes you walking away from whatever that connection is, romantic, friendship, business, whatever it is. Sometimes it takes you walking away for them to finally understand. Sometimes you need to understand your presence, regardless of your intention, enables the cycles of toxicity. It enables the stagnation. And this is not about blaming. This is not about, well, I'm telling you it's your fault. No, it's about, well, I'm telling you that you have to choose yourself. And if it's meant to be a connection that lasts, then they'll choose themselves as well and you'll rise together. But if they don't, keep loving them. You never had to stop loving someone when you walk away. Keep loving them from afar in silence. Let them grow. Let them have the kind of experiences that they need. And sometimes the kind of experiences people need in order to be able to reach a level of maturity that allows them to receive the love that you give are experiences that don't involve you. Does this mean you should continue to pine away for someone? No, it doesn't. It means you need to always make sure you have the type of love for friends, for family, for lovers, the type of love that sets them free. You got your own shit to worry about. You seriously got your own shit to worry about. And again, this is not going to be a popular statement, but it's the truth. When you're too concerned, overly concerned, obsessively concerned about saving someone because they're a good person, it's because you're avoiding your own issues. You are not so wonderfully developed mentally, emotionally, and spiritually that you have the luxury of making someone else your project. No one is your project. If you need a person project, choose yourself. Seriously. Choose yourself. Process the shame that you feel, process this need to sabotage your growth. Choose yourself. Seriously. And people will be like, no, Emmie, I came into this world to save the world. Well, you've been failing your fucking job. There's riots in the streets. Let's be honest, that's not why you're here. I mean, the fact that I have to say that to really get people to understand this is not a place where I'm going to allow you to use my words to perpetuate the stagnation, then I'm going to say it. Self care is vital. It's absolutely vital. And martyrdom is emotional manipulation. And I know this because I used to do that. I used to martyr myself. Why would you martyr yourself, Emmie? Well, because I felt like if I didn't go above and beyond to the point where I'm depleted and hurt, then people might not want to be around me because I'm not worth it if I'm not overly compensating. And that's the fucking blunt ass truth. That is the blunt ass truth. And I'm just so lucky to have the kind of husband that can call me out on my shit and at the same time hold me as I fall apart. I am damn fucking lucky to have a very small circle of friends who I know would never use me, never betray me, don't use me as the way to come up in life, and people that I know I could go to if something's wrong, people that I know I don't say that something's wrong, they can feel it and they're rooting for me. And I'm lucky that I have all of this because guess what? I chose to finally have all of this. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. I finally chose to allow myself to receive the kind of love that I put out. Wow. Thank you, Daddy. He says you're worth more than anything in this world. Daddy, can you share how long did I fight you in your desire to just love me in a way that was worthy of me? How long did it take for you to convince me that there was no other shoe that was going to drop? That was a fucking long time. That was a long time. He says 20 plus years. Yeah. And it's still an ongoing thing. Deeper and deeper levels of trust being formed, being built. Trust doesn't just happen. This is something you have to choose. You have to choose who you trust and who you don't. Not everyone is worth your trust. And, oh, not everyone is worth your trust. Yeah, it doesn't just happen. You don't just suddenly become a balanced person. You're probably imbalanced because you're allowing other people's karmic load, emotional load, their stress, their problems, all of these other things to be piled on one shoulder, causing you to feel unbalanced. When you let go of all of that, it doesn't suddenly make you a selfish or bad person. It just means you realize you have needs. Those needs are important. And if you really truly want to empower someone, the most powerful, most efficient way to do it is to allow them to witness your rise. That's all. So work on yourself. Work on yourself. Don't work on yourself because you think you're broken. Don't work on yourself because you realize you have wounds. Work on yourself because you deserve it. You deserve that kind of love. You deserve that kind of love. And because I'm so fucking stubborn, I'm so stubborn and in denial of myself, my worth, I have to be surrounded by the most amazing people. My inner circle of friends, my husband and my children, and all of you guys. All of you guys. Every single time that you resonate with me and you share that with me, every single time that you share of your journey and it's similar to mine, even in just feeling, if not in detail, that validates me. It empowers me. It helps me to shed that much more of that self-shaming. I mean, you guys, this is such a beautiful thing to be able to experience this together. Don't you think? To be able to witness me as someone you don't personally know share the same pain that you have. And we're not celebrating that other people are suffering. The celebration is in the recognition I'm not alone. I never have been. Neither have you. None of us have been alone in our struggle. We've just been too caught up in being ashamed that we are not perfect in the definition that society sets regarding perfection. In spiritual terms, I'm fucking perfect. There's no one else that could be me in the way that I am. That's perfection. I was created specifically for whatever it is I'm going to do in this life. Whatever I experience takes me that much closer to whatever it is I'm here for. Everything in perfect balance, everything in perfect detail, even my shitty attitude. It only comes out sometimes. Even that's perfect. Because let's face it, most of the people who will live stream and allow themselves to be witnessed And I'm not saying this because I think I'm above, but most of the people who do this will not allow you to see who they truly are. There's too much unknown in that. There's too much fear in how people will respond to you. Oh my God, I might offend people. Oh my God, people might not like that. Oh my God, this. Oh my God, that. How about I'm here to just document and share my journey? You don't like it, you don't like it. You like it, you like it. You subscribe, you subscribe. You don't subscribe, you don't subscribe. Let me go ahead and just remove the whole subscriber count to begin with so I can just focus on really living, really allowing myself to live. Oh my God, you guys, I have to be honest. I'm gonna call myself out on this shit, okay? I'm gonna call myself out and then I'm gonna go. I did a live stream this morning. It went in a direction that I wasn't expecting, a direction that made me very uncomfortable. It wasn't a horrible conversation. I don't know what about it made me uncomfortable. And so when several people messaged to see how come they could no longer watch the live stream recording, my assistant messaged me and let me know, and I told her there was a technical issue. That's a lie. I lied to her and I lied to you guys. I took it down because I'm not ready to allow my mind to wrap around some of the things that were talked about in that live stream. It wasn't over the top. It was just some weird feeling that didn't sit right with me. It was just some weird feeling. And if it doesn't sit right with me, if I feel like it doesn't truly represent me, the truth of me, yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't know if there was just some weird presence. I don't know if it was a subject matter. I don't know what it was, but it felt gross. And I don't care if it paints me in a bad light, good light, that's irrelevant to me. But if it feels gross, I'm not going to spread ugly. Not that kind of ugly. I mean, I could have ugly ass hair, ugly ass makeup. I could speak in an ugly way, but when the energy is ugly, that needs to come down. No, I wasn't triggered. I don't know what it was. I'm going to be honest. I don't know what it was. I wasn't emotionally triggered. There was nothing that made me feel like it had anything to do with my past life. Um, I don't know what it was, but I was like, this shit's coming down. No, it feels weird. Something about the energy was, yeah, she said it. It felt like an energy of malevolence. And I was just like, what the fuck is this? It didn't feel like it was coming from me. Um, I felt like it was coming from someone in the audience. I don't feel it was intentional. Um, I feel it was something that had to do with their own internal guilt, self shaming, a very amplified version of this struggle because of a parasitic latching. If I'm going to be really honest, that's kind of what I was leaning towards. Um, and I'm just the kind of person, I'm going to respect your journey unless you're specifically asking me or you put me in a position where I have to tell you. I won't say anything about your parasitic issue. I just, when you're ready to know, when you get curious, I trust you to come to me. I trust you to have that conversation with me. So I feel like that's what was going on. If you were in that live stream, I was just like, No, I don't think it was you, Bailey. I don't think it was you at all. But yeah. No. Oh, battling it or baiting? No, I don't think it was you either, Marissa. Um, well, because the live is down, I think it was the person that kept asking and speaking about a certain experience in their childhood. Um, I don't even remember the scream name. That's not important. But I think it was a Trojan. It was a Trojan. Right. The first comment that I saw, and this has to do with you trusting yourself. The first comment of that person, I had to stop and like, what the fuck are you talking about? Are you being serious? Like, what do you mean? Because my initial reaction, my initial gut feeling was block. That's my usual knee jerk reaction to serious parasitic shit. The individual is not the issue. I want to make that very clear. The person is not the problem. I think there was some sort of something attached. And it's just you thought that too. I thought it was just a hijack of the thread. I was getting ready. When you see my arm like this, see how this arm is a little higher? That means I'm on my laptop waiting to have a reason. You out. No, I'm joking. That's not what it means. Um, let's see. Yeah. Yeah. I was like, the fuck are you talking about? To the point where I called my Dutch dad, Dutch daddy. Dutch dad, what the fuck is this person talking about? I mean, it is part of a culture, but the energy behind it is what I was fixated on. And so I have to be honest with you guys. If I'm made to feel very uncomfortable or somehow energetically unsafe, um, that's very hard to do. That's very hard to get me to that feeling. I sure as hell ain't exposing you guys to that shit. Okay. I'm not going to expose you guys to that shit. Fucking the video can come down. And I did realize, I mean, honestly, that first video, I didn't even get a chance to really talk about self shame and self sabotage. It was all focused on fucking Crumple's still skin. What the fuck is his name? Center class, whatever the fuck his name is. It was just some crazy ass shit. It was crazy energy, just crazy shit. And no, I got your guys' back. Even if it makes me sound crazy, even if it makes me sound like a bitch, I'm going to be honest. I took that shit down. I told my assistant it was a technical difficulty, technical issue, but I took it down. Now, you don't want to have been on. Was it? No, it wasn't an earthquake feeling. It was a very like a Trojan type of feeling. You too, Christy? Okay. See, you felt it and you laugh. I the whole live, I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna get out of this conversation? How am I gonna get out of this conversation? How am I gonna get in the live? And then finally, I gotta go, guys. Session's starting. Thank God for sessions. Wow, even your puppy growled at the phone. Mm. How about we do this? No. So hold on. Oh, I pulled 2 more cards. These are so important. Because I was trying to guide myself through conversation. See, okay, here it is. This is how it entered. At the start of the live, I was debating within myself, the earlier live. I was debating within myself whether I should pull some cards because I realized I'm using the cards as a crutch. Um, and then came that like really overly zealous um, rebelliousness where it's like, fuck that. I already told people I'm not going to be reading no more. No, dumbest shit ever. Is this all within myself? And then the live started, and instead of me reconciling that first, where I allow myself to recognize, okay, I'm not too confident in myself enough yet to not have pulled any cards. I probably should have allowed myself some cards so that I can get into, the groove of talking about the subject and then just go from there, like I did with this live stream. So because of that, because I was very emotionally unstable momentarily, because I felt a huge dip in my self confidence, in my trust, in my abilities, that created a space for something to enter. And I'm not saying that I got breached or that any of you got breached, but that's what allowed for that type of commenting with that type of energy to be present in the live. That's what happened. So the self shaming, that was a huge part of why that was allowed to happen, because I was shaming myself. Girl, you really can't talk without the cards. Girl, who the fuck do you think you are? All of these like, whoa, whoa, whoa. If you don't get anything from this but one thing, let that one thing be your lack of confidence in yourself, your lack of trust in your soul can and is often used against you by spiritual things, by people in society, by society itself, by governments, by nations, by everything. So have some confidence in yourself. And your confidence is not, I'm the shit, I'm better than everybody. And no, your confidence is, I can handle whatever life throws at me. I might struggle a little bit, but I got this. I got this. I got this. That's all you have to say. And if you don't believe it, keep saying it until you do. I got this. I got this. I got this. And if you need a little bit of a crutch, by all means, use your crutch. I needed a little bit of a crutch. I needed to pull out a couple cards to keep me focused. The Epiphany being card number 6, 6 being the number of receiving. Reveal your gifts. Receive your truth and reveal your gifts. That's what this is about. And if you're not yet confident in your gifts, then work at it. Not work on it until you're better. You're not deficient in any way. When it comes to this subject matter, you're working on it until you release your disbelief in yourself. You're not working at it because right now in this moment you're not enough. You're being told to work on it until you release your disbelief. Okay? So, final card, 8 of Pentacles. Pentacles being coins, coins being money, money being currency, currency being energy. 8 is a number of reunification. You're reunifying your energy. This is work, paid work. When you work and are paid, you are allowing yourself to receive currency. You're allowing yourself to receive the energy that is rightfully yours. It's time for you to allow yourself to receive. It's time for you to allow your gifts to be revealed. It's time for you to just allow yourself to exist with no apologies, no shame, no guilt. And guess what? If you find yourself apologizing, if you find yourself feeling ashamed, if you find yourself feeling guilty, that is not a reason to beat yourself up. You are a human, and that is a part of your human experience. So feel it and get over it. Feel it and move on. Feel it and rise up. Just because you stub a toe doesn't mean you cut off the whole foot. That's what Michael said. He didn't say it in a sing-song way, but that's what he said. Just because you stub a toe doesn't mean you cut off the whole foot. So just because you have a moment of realization that you're repeating cycles does not mean you failed. It actually means the opposite. It means you are now recognizing the symptoms of cycles, and identification is the number one most important thing in order for you to change something. You can't change something, you can't address something that you refuse or are unable to identify. So when you have a backslide, when you experience the same self-shaming, guilt, find yourself apologizing for simply existing, the recognition of that is important. The recognition is the most powerful step forward. Because again, nothing can come of it until you recognize what it is. So recognize your badassery, recognize yourself, and just be you. Be you. Okay, guys? So please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me every single time I'm live. And I want you to put some sugar on me. In the name of love, put some sugar on me. I can't get enough. All right, guys. I gotta go for real. Bye, everyone.